you feel that there's a stigma in the black community about like kind of like not understanding money, but not also wanting to learn the necessary steps to become wealthy? Do you feel like there's a stigma like that we kind of battle like as being African American?
100%.
Let me say something real quick of something that I learned, and I don't know if anybody knows this, but everyone knows who Ford Motors is, right?
Correct.
You know there were 3 companies with Ford Motors?
Explain.
Okay. So, and that the black community is what helped Cadillac become wealthy. So they originally had 3 companies, and one of them ended up being Cadillac. Somebody ended up buying the Cadillac dealership. And this was during the Great Depression. It was like 1910 or something like that. And don't quote me on the year yet, but it's around that time.
For sure.
And Cadillac was formulated. When Cadillac was formulated, they were about to file bankruptcy because at that time they did not have loans. So who ended up, and during the Depression, all the white counterparts had all their money in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the black people didn't have money in the bank because they wouldn't let them have bank accounts. So what did they do with their money? So black folks know how to save money. They know how to move money around, but they don't know how to understand the credit part because they only use cash. That's what our community does. So Cadillac was saved because 70%, it grew by 70% because black folk who had saved money had literally saved that company. So when it comes to black folks having an understanding about money, it is really about them being educated to know, hey, it's okay to use credit. It's okay if you use it the right way to leverage it for business. So it's not so much as we don't know, it's about we just have to train our people to have an understanding of how to navigate that way. Because our community, we've been robbing Peter to pay Paul forever.
For years, okay? Absolutely.
But we've always made it through, right?
Right.
And that's because we saved in different kind of ways.
Yeah, we've been locked out of information.
Yes.
Right. So like she said, it's a lot deeper than just back in the time that you're referring to where they didn't allow us to have bank accounts. I mean, it was before that. I mean, in slavery times, they barely allowed us to breathe.
Correct.
Right. They only allowed us certain pieces of information. They only paid us minimum wage. So we were only given, we pretty much worked with what we had.
Correct.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what creates intergenerational trauma and poverty is that we are taught something that we think is the rule, and that's not necessarily the rule. I mean, we operate off one rule, but the wealthy operate on totally different rules. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how did Cadillac even become Cadillac? They had some form of resources and different forms of information for them to even create a company of that stature. Ford, same way. All the companies, they had different information. Why isn't there really any black car owners? The information is different. Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's also just a matter of not only were they not taught information, we were locked out of information at the same time.
And we're the ones who invented a lot of stuff, which is so crazy. But the financial part of it is we didn't have the money to fund certain things. And so now with the internet, what the internet has done is it has opened the door for us to grab this information, but it's about getting the right information. Because there's a lot of people out there that's giving incorrect information, only giving part of the information. So people get stuck and, it's a scam. Well, not everything is a scam.
Not everybody is a scam
Right.
either.
And it's so crazy that we think like that, because it's like, I mean, you hear something and then you hear investing, pay me to do this, and people automatically think that it's a scam, and it's not like that.
Yeah, but you'll pay the other counterpart, but you don't even want to trust your own community. But then, unless we've gotten to that statue and we gotta flaunt and show everything, you know. And my son has been debating, he's like, Mom, should I buy a new car? You know, I'm about to pay off my car, you know, because I'm like, dude,
Yeah, you're gonna get me a Maserati. Only not because it's a sports car and it's a Maserati.
Right,
only
I know it's not because of that.
It gets you in different rooms.
Correct.
So that's the reason why I want.
Because he drives a Kia.
You're getting the Maserati because it gets you in other rooms. Explain.
Yeah, so certain cars have different networks. So like let's say if you went and got a Lamborghini, you go to a Lamborghini network. There's just a source of people in Atlanta that only drive Lamborghinis. And there are certain places that you go to that you have to have at at least $100,000 to a $200,000 car in order for you to get in the room.
It's crazy.
And
So-
this is real. This is real.
No, this
Like
is
we
real.
know the people
There
that
are
only
private
house
Louis
these
Vuitton
events.
parties.
Yeah, there are
That you
private
have to
parties.
get
Yeah.
a certain level,
Certain net
in
worth.
order to get into those invitation rooms for Louis Vuitton.
And so I'm gonna get me a Maserati only because one, it's a sports car. Two, it creates conversation. Three, it's marketable. And four, it allows me to get in different rooms.
And 5, because in order for people to see that you're doing something, they look at what you have.
Of course, the
which
image.
is crazy.
It's the image.
It's so
yes.
crazy.
But like, image is the last thing I'm thinking about.
Right, for
Right?
him.
For me, it is.
For him.
But for other people,
But
of
for
course,
other
that's what they're
people,
seeing.
That's what they're looking at. Oh, he's driving that. He's doing that. Instead of, oh, okay, so he's driving a Kia that is pretty much paid off. What is like a couple of months paid off,
Mm-hmm.
and he uses his money to leverage for something else. They're not looking at it that way. They're like,
People don't
oh,
even last that long to even pay off a car, by the way. In our
correct.
culture.
They don't. They right. They
That's so
don't.
crazy.
Their cars are generally repossessed or something like that, and that's so unfortunate. But or they've turned it in for something else. And he's like, no, I'm keeping that car, and I'm getting another car, and I'm gonna, I'll let somebody rent that. But they don't think that way.
Wow.
I just got to get a new car.
Right.
And then what's the crazy part about it is to have somebody in our community who literally put down for a car. It was a used car. And the amount of money that she spent on that car, she could have bought a brand new car. And I was telling her,
100%.
do not ever buy a used car. You never have to buy a used car, and don't put no money down.
Let's be more specific. Like if you have a son or a child, get them a used car.
Correct.
But like for yourself, for what you need, we wouldn't
Yeah,
recommend.
teenagers don't deserve a new car. All these
For sure.
parents buying new
100%.
BMWs and all that. No, they need a hoopty. They need to value the vehicle.
Right.
They need because they're
They're gonna
tear
break
it up.
Yeah, they're
Right.
gonna do it.
But for an adult, if everyone seems to think that they have to buy a used car. No, you can get yourself a brand new car. But because they think their credit is so bad, but it's understanding how you can leverage these things in order to get whatever you want.